Hello, lovely people. So let's talk about what I wore last week. I was still on holiday for the first couple of days, and then I was working from home thanks to the strikes in London. I couldn't get in to work, so I did still wear a fair few, but because I was at home and because it was starting to get chilly, so like our heating came on for the first time in months yesterday morning. So I did go for some things that are a little bit more cozy, and I've got a few more sweet things here, but the beginning of the week was still slightly summery, so there's a real mixture going on today. This first one, though, everyone knows this, I don't need to say much about it. This is Angum from Lataffa, a really good dupe of Burberry Goddess. It's my favourite interpretation, personally, of that profile. I just think it's really easy to wear. I think, the least synthetic, although I do really, genuinely really like the new Rare Beauty EDP. That one just doesn't have lavender, but it's got loads of pink pepper, and it's got like a caramel in the dry down, but it's really wearable, that one. I like it. If I didn't have this one, I'd probably consider that. I think it might be my second favourite. So anyway, I don't need to say much about this because I've talked about it quite a lot recently, I feel. So top notes, ginger, mandarin and pink pepper. Mid notes, lavender, praline, cacao, jasmine. Base notes, vanilla, amber and musk. And it's just cosy, and I just needed cosy. You'll probably see this quite a lot because I feel like it's just such an easy thing to put on. It's like a really easy reach. Not as easy as my other lavender perfume that you'll see soon. I'm sure you know what it is. All right. So, and then I wore this one just to kind of say goodbye to it, not because I'm decluttering, but I only wear this in summer. Because The Key by Justin Bieber does tend to go a little bit too shampooey for my liking if it's not summer. I looked at this with a torch the other day, and I'm down to about here. The Key discontinued, really hard to get hold of, and it's very pretty. I think it's one of the nicest fruity floral celebrity perfumes I've ever smelt. It's not because it's like so original. I've never smelt anything else that smells like it, but I've definitely never smelt anything that smells exactly like this. This is bosenberry, pear, mandarin orange and osmanthus in the top. Mid notes of peach, water lily and pink jasmine. Base notes of musk, vanilla and raspberry and woody notes. It's not too woody. It's definitely slightly shampooey, but not like crazy shampooey. There's a Taylor Swift that's voted as the top, but I don't really know that one. Looking through here, so yes, it smells definitely a bit like Si Passione, but my advice for a perfume that is a good replacement for this, if you can't get hold of it, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of similar, is the Cassandra Rose Rouge from Jean Arthès. La Rive also have a dupe of Si Passione called In Woman Red, which is really good. That one's a little bit more shampooey than Cassandra Rose Rouge though, so Cassandra Rose Rouge is my favourite. I've just made a big La Rive video, so you'll see that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's so nice to wear this in the summer because it just has this gentle vanillic sweetness that comes through without turning into a vanilla perfume. And the bosenberry and pear with the osmanthus is such a delicious mixture. It's so girly and pink and pretty. And then there's a raspberry with the musk in the base. So it's kind of hard to explain why it's so special, but I think you've probably seen other people talking about how special this is, and it's just special, man. It just really is quite special. So yeah, that is The Key from Justin Bieber. And then this is just one of my all-time favourites. You'll be able to tell from the dent. This is a sexy perfume. I love it. This is Guess Dare. It doesn't have the original lid on because that is a tester bottle, but one of my long-time loves, one of my top 20 for life, maybe in the top 10, Guess Dare, to be honest. So kumquat, pear blossom, lemon blossom in the top. Mid notes, cactus flower, jasmine and wild rose. Base notes, musk, woody notes and coconut. It's got this delicious like spring flower smell, but like spring blossom on trees, like that kind of yummy, or like on bushes, the beautiful white flowers, like the Mexican orange blossom, that kind of thing. It's just got this delicious floral smell with this unusual kumquat. I mean, it's not an unusual kumquat. It smells like the kumquat notes that you get in quite a few kumquat perfumes. And I have the Monsieur Lee. That took me a while to remember. So I have the Monsieur Lee from Hermes. That's kumquat. My husband has myrrh and kumquat from the Aqua Colonia range from 4711, and it's that same lovely, slightly unusual fruity smell. Really, really good. I don't really know what cactus flower smells like, but I feel like I think there's cactus flower in 212 as well from Carolina Herrera, and I feel like with the musk and the wood and then that coconut, you get this delicious musk in the base, like proper, slightly bar soapy, yummy, quite slightly thick musk. And it is quite feminine, but it's got like a toe into the unisex realm, which I think is probably why this smells so sexy. My husband really likes this. He always comments when I wear it. He always likes to snuggle into my neck and like, So this is it's just so good. So anyway, Guess Dare, the original Guess Dare, so good. Okay. Talking of things my husband likes. Yeah. So as I said, I did my Rive video. A lot of these Rive perfumes have been in a cold box under my wardrobe in the dark for, I reckon nearly 3 years for this one, possibly 3 years. So a lot of them have developed to be very, much richer than they originally were. And this, I think, has become a bit sweeter, a bit richer. This is Rive Fleur de Femme. And this one, I'm just going to see if this will maybe consider brightening up a bit. This is a dupe for Dior Poison Girl, the original, which is a perfume I find too balsamic. I don't really get on with it. I do have a sample of it. I have tried wearing it. But Fleur de Femme it's not even necessarily an entire dupe, because it has a cherry note in, which the original doesn't. And I think that's what makes this a little bit more wearable to me. So the first time I was testing this out, Fleur de Femme, when I first got it. Oh, am I going to squeeze it on? Just. I've got to try not to knock that off now, eh? Can we push them all together a bit? Yeah. So Fleur de Femme, the first time I ever tried this when I first got it, like 3 years ago, my husband instantly said, "You smell nice. You smell really nice." And he also said when I wore my Poison Girl Unexpected, which is the only one from the range that I've actually got in my collection, because I love how gingery that is. He also really likes that one. He commented when I was wearing that. And then I took this out of the box to do the review, and it has become a little bit more creamy, a little bit sweeter, and a little bit, like I said, richer and a bit... It's still not massively thick, but it's noticeable. And instantly when I was wearing this one again, he was like, "You smell really nice." So this seems to hit all the buttons for him, because with sweeter stuff, so he never comments really when I'm wearing like a vanilla perfume. He's not really interested. He's like, it's not that I don't think it's that he doesn't like them, he just doesn't really pay much attention. But if it is sweet and fruity, or fruity and musky, he really always notices it. So yeah, this, I have to say, is definitely worth getting your hands on. I genuinely think it's nicer than the original. I think the original is just a little bit too balsamic, and therefore a little bit kind of almost vinegary and quite hard to wear. And the sample I have is from a decant shop, and it's aged, do you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously, it's quite dark and it's quite yummy, but it is just not as yummy as this. And I think the cherry is really helping this not be too vinegary. So I just think this is an improved version. I mean, I also prefer the Eau de Toilette and, like I said, the Poison Girl Unexpected to the original anyway. But because this is so affordable and they all smell pretty similar, this is just yummy. And I feel like this also has just a tiny touch of this kind of soapiness of the rose that's a little bit more obvious in the Poison Girl Eau de Toilette, because I did have a bottle of that and I only passed it on because it was very similar to Unexpected except for the ginger note, and like I just didn't feel I needed both of them in my collection, even though I really did think both of them were really nice. But yeah, I mean, let me read you the notes. Almond, sour cherry, bitter orange and peach in the top. Mid notes of sandalwood, jasmine, neroli, patchouli, rose and cedar in the mid. Base notes vanilla, tonka bean and musk. And it's just... yeah, this one really is very yummy. So this is one that I'm just going to keep because also, I mean, perfect date night perfume because my husband seems to really dig it. And it's much easier for me to wear than the original. So I'm keeping hold of that one, and I will definitely try wearing it again. But I did enjoy wearing it this time, and like I said, he really enjoyed it. So that one's staying with me. I mean, it has been with me for 3 years. I just haven't worn it for a really long time. So then what have we got next? Let's go for, I mean, this beauty. Another one that I hadn't worn for a really long time. And I was absolutely craving red apple. Craving red apple. And craving like a sweet, slightly syrupy red apple. And I don't have, I mean, I really only have a couple of red apple perfumes. I would like to find more, but sometimes they go way too shampooey or they're just too sweet. This one, sadly discontinued. Aqua, Colonia, red apple and chili. Absolutely delicious. This is, if you can imagine the red apple from something like Kayali, Eden, Juicy Apple, but just that with a spicy, warming red chili note. That's basically what this smells like. I mean, they only tell you it's red apple and red chili, so it's not like they're giving you any other information. It's just yummy, scrummy. When you first spray it, it's a little bit vegetal because of that chili. That kind of green and vegetal vibe, that note, really calms down with wear. So it's just, it's lovely. It's so lovely. I really enjoyed wearing it, and I was really like having to stop myself from trying to find more really good red apples. But honestly, if you guys know any affordable, good red apple perfumes that don't smell like shampoo and don't smell just straight up like a children's perfume, then I would love to know, because I think red apple is a note that I absolutely love in perfumes. It's just, I find it a little bit hard because like green apple often smells like a candle to me, but red apple is just so delicious, and I think there's such like a beautiful autumnal smell. So anyway, that's that one. And then also one morning when I got up, I think this was at the weekend, when it was still kind of, or when I was on holiday still. Oh, lovely. You smell like you've just had a shower. Satsuma from the Body Shop. This is the body mist. They sadly don't do this in eau de toilette form, otherwise I would have it in an eau de toilette form. But it's great. It's just so refreshing. It literally smells like a real Satsuma at first, and then it kind of moves into smelling kind of soapy. So it then smells like you've just washed with a Satsuma body wash. It only says Satsuma, or actually it says tangerine, interestingly. But Satsumas and tangerines are different things, and I would say this is called Satsuma. It's probably a Satsuma, and for Grande, for some reason I put tangerine, and I don't know if that's because they don't have Satsuma as a note, weirdly. But yeah, if they've still got this, it's so worth getting it. It's so juicy, it's so simple. It would be great for layering. It's really pretty, it's really nice. I really like wearing it. Fresh, lovely, and it smells like the old school Body Shop, which is always pretty joyous. And then also I wore this, and I'm always so torn about this, because I do like it, but it definitely does have a little bit of a chemically smell, as do all Ariana Grande perfumes so far. I'm interested to know what her couple of new ones that are actually wicked ones. There's a pink and a green one that are going to come out, and I wonder if she's going to rinse everyone for a ridiculous amount of money, like with her most recent releases. I hope not, because it outrages me. But anyway, Thank You Next. I can't wear the actual perfume because it has that tarry aroma chemical in it. This one smells a bit chemically, but not necessarily too tarry. It's like, I don't know. I just find her perfumes generally quite chemically. But I really love the smell of this, though. I love the profile of Thank You Next. This one is raspberry and pear in the top, mid notes of coconut and pink rose, base notes of macaroons and, macarons, so not the little yummy coconut things that we make in the UK sometimes, at the actual lovely French patisserie, and musk. And it's just, I mean, I love pear anyway, and I do love raspberry, and then if you've got that kind of sweet kind of sugary coconut with a bit of rose and a bit of musk, it's really gorgeous. I like it. I don't get anything pickly from this one, which I know some people do, but it's just really lovely. Now I think, am I right in thinking that the other version of this, is there a 2.0? Am I making that up? Yes, there it is. Let me look at it. Is that a red apple perfume? Yeah, red apple and strawberry. Let me do red apple voted as the top. Maybe I should try and smell that at some point, but I can't imagine that it's any less chemically. But maybe I'll have to try that one. It says it smells like the Kayali one, and I do quite like that, but it's just not worth the money. Anyway, like I said, you got any good red apples? Shout me down in the comments before I get completely off track with what I'm talking about. Oh, the joy of breaking this out for bedtime again when it starts to get chilly. Gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. Absolutely lush. Chill Out from Oriflame. This is one that lives next to my bed. Like I said, I think probably in my last video or the one before, I have the Yardley lavender that I like when it's hot. Generally speaking, I use Twilight from Lush on my bed. I've been through so many bottles that when I do my empties, I feel like half of my empties are going to be Twilight bottles. Now named Sleepy, annoyingly. But if I actually want to wear something on my skin and it's a bit chilly, I wear Chill Out from the Feel Good range from Oriflame. I don't think they make this anymore, but I do think you might still be able to get this one on eBay and places like that. I mean, if I'm being real, this to me smells like a very sheer and even more lavendery version of something like Mon Guerlain. They only give you notes of lavender in the top, vanilla in the mid and cedar in the base, and it does smell a little bit more unisex than Mon Guerlain. But it definitely, to me, still smells like there is something licoricey in here. In Twilight, I think they have some kind of like cinnamony, some kind of spicy compound or whatever they call it. It's like one of the natural ingredients that Lush uses that has that kind of cinnamony, almost licoricey smell itself, which is why I think Twilight is so special to me and so delicious, because it has that strange, dark, almost spicy thing going on with the tonka and the lavender. This one, I think, has that same feel. I don't think it just smells like lavender, vanilla and cedar. I think it has an almost licoricey smell, but like I said, it's kind of sheerer. It's a bit more simplified. It doesn't have the tonka. It doesn't have the florals. It's just so yummy to wear. I love it. And then we might as well just bring her out because she's my heaven and I could not wait. Literally, the moment that I was like, it's chilly today, I put Mon Guerlain on. Oh, God. I love it so much. I think it's one of my easiest reaches, honestly. And the more I love it, the longer time goes on, the easier I find it to wear in pretty much any weather. I feel like my thing is just a little bit dark, but never mind. So, Mon Guerlain, I mean, everyone knows it. Lots of people love it. Not everyone, though. I just think it's a masterpiece myself. So, this is top notes of lavender and bergamot, mid notes of iris, jasmine, sambac and rose, base notes Tahitian vanilla, coumarin, Australian sandalwood, benzoin, licorice and patchouli. I don't get much patchouli in this original one. I mean, again, like the combination of the licorice and the benzoin is this delicious, dark spice. But it has the bright bergamot and the kind of lovely, bright purple lavender. And then powdery iris. You definitely get a tiny, tiny bit of jasmine and rose, but it really just smells like a bouquet, this one. I don't think you'd necessarily pull them out as separate flowers. And that coumarin, so like, is a more intense version of tonka. So it's like, oh, that with the vanilla. Oh my God. It's perfect. It's perfect. I don't think... Yeah, the only Mon Guerlain I've ever smelt that I did not like is the Bloom of Rose Eau de Parfum. That one is a bit rosy and it did have quite a lot of patchouli and I just didn't think it was particularly nice. I'm still kicking myself that I didn't keep a little decant though, so I could like compare that to things. But anyway, I love Mon Guerlain. It's just fantastic. So next up, talking of red apple, obviously... Again, like, I mean, I really am down to just a little tiny bit now. I wondered if my next wear would totally use it up, but it didn't entirely use it up, so there's still that tiny bit left. Absolutely scrumptious, totally delicious, perfect, beautiful red apple. It's like a red apple and freesia musk, I think, of this one. So it's red apple and red currant in the top, but I don't really get much red currant, and red currant can sometimes bother me because it sometimes is so acidic and sharp. Mid notes of freesia and jasmine. Again, I get more freesia than I do jasmine. Base notes, vanilla orchid, white musk, white woods. I feel like the vanilla orchid is why this has a glorious sweetness in it. It has a creamy musk that is sweet and tasty, and it's just, it's, again, it's like, it's one of my easiest wears. I have a few of my really easy wears here. I've got, I mean, Chill Out, obviously. If I wear something to bed, it's a very easy wear. I could easily, if it wasn't so expensive, wear Mon Guerlain, but I save that for the day. So Chill Out, Mon Guerlain, Modern Princess, Guest Air, all my absolute easiest reaches. And I mean, I feel like Angum is a sort of semi-easy reach, but not the same way that these are. Oh, so beautiful. So obsessed with that, love it. And then I have been waiting for it to get a bit cooler so I could start breaking out my Lush perfumes. I have, like, most of my favourite Lush perfumes are ones that are a little bit too strong or too sweet to wear in like proper summer. Creamy Candy is the one I went for. Reason being, I still don't think it was quite cool enough to go full American cream, because that one is very, very sweet and a little bit stronger than Creamy Candy. Creamy Candy, sadly, was a limited edition, but in all honesty, it feels quite related to Snow Fairy. It's like Snow Fairy with an added bit of that kind of almost white icing sweetness that you get in American cream. Almost like it's a kind of love child between the two. So its top comparison is Snow Fairy, and then American Cream is like the next one. So yeah, it's kind of, it smells like a mixture of the two. And I wasn't quite in the mood for full Snow Fairy, but I wasn't quite ready for American Cream. So Creamy Candy was the spot in between. And it's just, yeah, it's just yummy. It's like, so American Cream is rose and iris and sage and lavender and tonka and vanilla, and it's just yummy. Some people think it smells like strawberry. I don't think it smells at all like strawberry. But anyway, and then Snow Fairy is bubblegum and cotton candy and cherry and pear, and it's a true pink smell. So if you can imagine those two mashed up together, because they only say vanilla for the notes on for Grande, and this one is vanilla absolute, anise, and then perfume. Basically it just says perfume, so it's some kind of, you know, I mean, because that's pretty much what it says on the back of Snow Fairy, because some Lush perfumes, a lot of them have very natural compounds, and some of them just have like regular perfume kind of aroma chemicals. So just gorgeous, lovely. So that was pretty much my week, guys. Really, really nice. Like I said, I've made, because I had some time off when I was actually in the flat, I've made quite a few videos, so I'm really excited. The La Rive one was so big that I had to make it into 2 videos. So those are coming up in a couple of weeks. I can't even remember what I've coming up this week, if I'm honest. I can't remember what I've lined up. But hopefully some fun stuff on the way. All right, that's it, guys. Let me know what you've worn this week. Let me know if you've got any of these. Let me know if you have any La Rive and what your favourite La Rives are. Although, of course, if you want, you can wait until the actual videos come out, until we start talking about La Rive. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed and you are watching my videos, really, really helps if you just hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel a lot. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.